in my opinion, and I've always said this, and my mother was a teacher. She taught first grade. She taught fourth grade. She was my teacher in fourth grade. My brother taught school for a little while. My aunt was a teacher, taught Spanish, high school and Spanish for a long time. And I've always thought, regardless of that, and I thought about it. The reason I didn't go into it, I was like, man, I'd end up getting in fucking trouble. If I went back to high school, I'd be hanging out with the kids, you know. I wouldn't be telling them what not to do. They'd be doing worse shit with me than they'd be doing on their own. So I was like, I ain't going back there. I'll end up being on the news. But in my opinion, and I don't understand why, teachers should be the most well-compensated members of society, period. And if that was the case, how many people do you think right now would be an amazing teacher?
I think
brains filled with knowledge, and they know so much, and they're probably good at relaying that information, but they don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I bet that's a lot of
They can't make any money. They can't make any money. So we're not getting the best. And I'm not knocking the people that are doing it because I know they're trying as hard as they can.
There was a guy I saw. It was like made like a BuzzFeed article or something. He was a teacher, and then he started doing the grocery delivery on the side, where like he just goes grocery shopping for people.
Right.
Then he quit the teacher job because he was making more money delivering groceries.
Right. What the fuck is that?
So he lost a teacher.
What the fuck is that?
He's out there at Publix.
Well, you see, how many times have you heard about a student who's sitting at home and the pizza is delivered to their house and they're like, "Oh, Mrs. Wilson, I didn't know you were a pizza delivery woman also."
Well,
and they're like, "Well, I have to do this so that I can buy you guys pens and paper and shit so you can write during the day. I don't want to deliver pizzas. I'd like to be a teacher."
Well,
I went to college for it.
If you live in California, you have a chance to do something about it. You can vote for Kevin Pathrath, who has an economic and a educational change for the state of California.
That would put all of our money.
He wants to put I think the minimum salary was going to be $125,000.
Absolutely.
And he was definitely wants to reform the education, the way we teach people.
It should be. Now, I know this is going to make me sound like a nut, but imagine if we could take the military budget and use it for education. I would love to know what is the comparison right now between our military budget and what do we spend on the military, which, by the way, 95% of those weapons never get used. What do we spend on the military versus what we spend on education?
So the military budget proposal for next year is $715 billion. The United States Department of Education's annual budget, this is from 2016. I'm see if they have is $64 billion. Who do you think?
And I had no previous knowledge of what those numbers were going to look like. Yeah. But are you shocked at
10%. No, less than 10%.
Less than 10%
of the military budget.
Of the military budget, less than 10% of the military budget, and we all know. Now people can be like, "Oh, well, we don't have the military. What the fuck? We're going to get fucking." Look, man, let me tell you something that I know about fighting. Americans know how to fucking fight. The number one thing I hear about is that people are so worried that a lazy person is going to be able to enjoy their life for 30 seconds. That seems to be the big thing. That's the whole thing with this $300 that everybody gets. They got an extra $300. People are mad as fuck. I hear about that. I watch Fox News. That's on Fox News 3/4 of the day. Is how nobody wants to get a job right now because they got an extra $300. First of all, let me say this. You can't do shit with $300 fucking dollars.
Yeah, you can.
$300 is not enough. What, really? $300? I live in the worst place you could possibly live, slightly above living in my Jeep, and I pay $400 a week for where I live. So I know for a fact that you can't do shit with $300. $300 is giving people a chance to breathe. That's it. So pay teachers number one. They should be that should be number one. They are not compensated in a free market way. They are compensated directly at that. Our military is socialist. Our police force is socialist. Our teaching force, for the most part, although not completely, there's private education that happens, but they get paid even less.
Yeah.
You know, most people don't realize that. If you're a private school teacher, you're going to get paid even less than a public school. Public school teachers get paid more than private school teachers. So I don't understand what it would take. Everyone knows this. This is not, we're not, people are not going to watch this and be like, man, that's groundbreaking information.
Right.
We had no idea that the cops were not well compensated. We had no idea that teachers were not well compensated. I've been listening to people talk about teachers not being well compensated all my life. That's why I was stunned when those people got breaks. They got a couple of bucks from the COVID relief. And it was broadcast as the biggest scandal in the history of the fucking country. They're like, can you believe that as a result of the COVID package, there were teachers out there collecting bonuses? How dare they? And I was like, man, who can you think of that would be better suited to get a fucking bonus? Do their job. Give it a shot. You think you could teach? You think you could do better than them? Put on a fucking teacher outfit and go to fucking school one day. And walk in there and introduce yourself.
You
and
can
be
argue
like,
this.
I am Mr. Holmes.
You can argue this, that when your kid wasn't allowed to go to school anymore, how happy were you to sit at home and try to teach the little bastard how to do math? Because you don't know how to do third grade math, motherfucker.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly.
And you don't know how to use apostrophes. I know this. I have Facebook, and you're allowed to post on it. And I know you don't know grammar, okay? So you need to sit down. Or spelling.
Or history. Or math. Or biology.
Yeah.
Or anything.
That's the real truth behind it all. Is we saw firsthand, like, oh man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I got to go to work. I got to go to my job. You're like, okay, well, who's going to teach your kid? Well, they need to teach them. Okay, well, they're making less than you to do this.
And by the way, just so you know, your kid ain't a fucking angel. Your kid is not going to fucking school and sitting there and saying, feed me knowledge so I can become the best citizen I can fucking become.
There's going to be like 4 or 5 of them out there that love school.
Yeah.
They get valedictorians and shit.
Right.
There's one in every school.
Right. And by the way, most people don't even. Here's the funny thing about valedictorian. Most of the time when they announce the valedictorian, nobody even knows who the fuck that is. Everybody's like, who the fuck is that? I don't even saw that kid.
I
don't even know they went here.
They know.
I didn't even know they fucking went here. I remember every time. Look, I never graduated from a regular high. I graduated from an adult high school after I joined the Army. So I was never at my own graduation. My graduation ceremony was the woman at the office of the high school I graduated from pressed a button on a tape recorder on her fucking desk and it played Pomp and Circumstance. She gave me my diploma. That was my graduation. But I went to several graduations, friends' graduations. I graduated from college. The valedictorian, nobody ever knows that. Who the fuck is that? I'll tell you why. Because that person's home while you're out partying, while you're a member of the football team, while you're cheerleading, while you're doing all your shit. That person's home studying.
Yeah.
They're not fucking socializing. You don't see them out in the hallway fucking around and doing stupid shit. They're studying. They're learning. Right. And I'm glad we have people like that. I'm always grateful. We should all be grateful. Thank you. The kids that win the spelling bee, the spelling bee is not like it used to be. I don't know if you've seen them. Those words don't even look like they're English anymore. They're just impossible fucking words from the first round. Like they start out, like they used to be like they'd start off,
xenophobia.
Yeah, all right, I could see that. I could maybe spell it. Watch the spelling bee now. I guarantee the average person cannot spell one fucking word on the spelling bee. Not one. These kids are smart. Good.
Yeah, some of them are
want
smart.
Them to be.
And some of them are hustlers and hard workers, but that's they're outliers. Right. And I it's funny you say that because I play a Gary Vee clip for you. Don't know much about Gary, but he speaks a lot to young people about putting in time and learning stuff and being patient because you don't happen overnight. And he speaks a lot about when he was younger, working in his parents' wine store, and while his friends were out partying. He was at work. And guess what? Maybe you don't have to work. Maybe some of those kids are studying and learning and trying to be the next Elon Musk or the next person out there to do something amazing and change the world. I mean, who knew? Look, you didn't even know who Elon Musk was prior to Tesla, pretty much. You didn't know that he was one of the founders of PayPal and his brother. And, no one even associates Elon Musk with PayPal anymore. Hey, this is Lauren with the Free as Fuck podcast. If you enjoyed that clip, you can check out other clips and full episodes right here on Planet Podcast under the Free as Fuck podcast. We do live shows throughout the week. If you hit the like button, the subscribe button, or the notification bell, it will let you know when we go live and you can join the show. Until then, we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.